can't really tell like this. But this is meant, when this goes down, it's on another piece. Damn we. Oh, another thing, this was made wrong. I had a jury rig this, so.
Oh yeah, a little piece.
Yeah,
that's
so
all right.
It's even stronger than this.
That didn't weaken it any.
You're right, though. I mean, you could reuse this pallet.
This pallet can be used, yeah.
Well, they would.
Would you? I don't know, but could you? Yes.
Yeah, they will.
I'd reuse it until it just absolutely crashed and burned, yeah.
Yep, after what we saw, yeah, I'd reuse it.
I mean, I certainly would ship out on it after you took it in the warehouse.
It's a little loose. This isn't touching here.
Yeah, you see, when you glue these, this probably wouldn't have broke, but you didn't get any glue on the side. If we conveyorize that and put the bead on the top and you lay that in there, you're not going to have that because you guys glued this on the side. There was no glue on there. That's why this broke apart.
Okay.
So now nothing at the top surface.
That's where you need consistency in the wood.
You need consistency in the wood. You need consistency in where you're applying it.
Well,
how much you're applying.
Here was what my thought was, Tony, with these boards right here. You set your jig up, you run these down a conveyor, even if you have two people, one guy putting them on the conveyor, the other guy taking them off the other end after the glue's applied to these. We put glue on just right in the center of these boards, and we stick it on the corrugated, then the jig, and then you run these down another side of the conveyor with another glue head, and put the glue lines right where they need to be, where these boards are at, right on top of the board.
What I was doing was assembling, and believe me, it was not a science yet, and I wasn't. But my process to where I got to where I quit working on it was I was assembling the wood separately from the corrugate. In other words, I was putting all the wood together and stacking them up, and then they would be fed into
that's the way we're always talking about
onto this.
Pre-billing the
skeleton.
The skeleton. Okay? Because one, we did learn that the glue was stronger after extensive setup time.
Mm-hmm.
So if I did it in two processes, I could let that glue set up as long as I wanted before I actually started bending corrugate around it. I'm not saying that's a must. It can all be done at one time. But the machine I had worked out for just this was itty bitty. And then the machine for the whole thing was going to be much larger. But now that this is a separate piece, well, that just cut down the width of that machine by twice of this length here, almost 4 foot.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got the size of both machines back down to a much more, and plus this corrugate is going to be so much easier to manage than what we was dealing with.
Right.
When I had that big old long piece out there, you had to fold it over. It was flopping around in the breeze. I mean, if all I got to do is come over on these little corners right here, you saw what I was doing.
Oh, yeah.
I come around right here, that's the easy part, and then I come in from the top with this as a separate piece. I'm telling you, I can increase the assembly time of these dramatically.
What ballpark?
My vision of this for hand assembly is just to have these pieces of corrugated stacked in one stack.
Yep.
Having these boards coming down a conveyor, putting the glue lines on each board, and one guy setting them in place in his jig, and then sending these boards last, and then laying them on the board.
My plan was to have the boards stacked up, have the skeleton done,